What's good, YouTube? My name is Harris, and you're watching another episode of BRG MX5. You gotta get me a cup. In today's episode, we are working on the car at night because we are working on lights. The lighting upgrade that I'll be doing is replacing the stock filament bulbs with LEDs. It's quite a common mod to do, and it's really quite simple, and it definitely makes your MX5 Miata look a lot better. So this guy goes in the front indicator lamp, is the little guy on the outside. This yellow one, I believe, is the white reverse light, and I know it's a bit confusing with that guy because it's white and this is yellow, but I believe this is white. This one's the same, but in yellow, and then this big ass guy is the stop bulb that goes when you press the brake. They're all a bit different. Obviously this is a lot smaller. This is the T10 fitting, which is, yeah, a very flat blade. If this camera would focus, a flat blade, so that sticks in one of two ways. If you don't get it right the first time, you can flip it around and it should work. Whereas these two are exactly the same, but this one is okay. They look similar, but a good way to check is the bottom part. This is a single circuit, so that only operates on one circuit itself. So you see how those two bayonet pins, those side pins there, that's on the same level. So it's only there's only one on and off, let's just say. There's only one set of LEDs that turns on when this guy turns on. And this one, if you look on the bottom, obviously there's two. And look through the side, there's two, one higher, which is the left side, and one lower, which is on the right. And what that does is that when you're, let's say, turn on your light, when you turn on your lights on the car, your brake lights automatically turn on. And when you brake, actually step on the foot pedal, it shines brighter, like a diamond. Anyway, it shines brighter, and because it's activating both circuits, so one, I think, it doesn't really, well, one of these guys completes the circuit with one of these smaller bayonet pins, and they create the ambient braking, and if you step on the brake, it connects both, which activates the brighter one. I just realized I had some spare stock ones, so I can show you the comparison. Okay, so if I put let's see, this guy and this guy together. Okay, so this is the standard filament bulb. You can see how there's that thicker wire at the bottom, and there's this thin one at the top. Oh, there we go, sideways. You can see, yeah, there's two sides, a thick one on the right and a thin one on the left. The thin one on the left is, I believe, the bright, because there's more resistance, so it shines brighter, I think. If I'm an engineer, I should know, but anyway, yeah, so there's two, and you got the two pins at the bottom, and you got the offset bayonet sides, which is the same as this offset plus the two bottoms. Okay, moving on to the singles. Single doodad on the bottom, same level bayonet, and then one filament in the middle. And then the T10 is this guy. So the T10 looks the same. It's also one filament inside the middle, if I can get this. Yeah, but believe me when I say there's only one in here. So yeah, we're just directly swapping them around. Okay, we'll tackle the easiest one first, which is the front indicator. There's a Phillips head screw there and a Phillips head screw there. You just need to pull it out, so it's maybe 10 mil outside the hole, because you don't have to pull them all the way out. You use them to grip, and then you pull the housing out of its hole. Okay, so that is the screw. All you need to do is unscrew the screw that far, and you can see it's sitting there chilling. I have my side light on a tape because the plastic connector is really brittle, and I snapped it, so that's in there and it hasn't moved, so that's gonna be my fix. And this bigger one is the yellow indicator. Now for the US guys, the Miatas, they run a daylight system, so when you turn on the side light, the bigger bulb here is it's got 2 filaments, but for New Zealand, we don't have running lights. We'll just have the 1 filament inside, so that could be a little bit different. So make sure you check which bulb you have, as I showed you before, to know your replacement. And those are the sockets outside the housing. Just replace them with the appropriate LED bulb. And we move on to the rear tail light. This is looking at the back left. The camera is currently in the boot. So all you need to do to remove this plastic housing is there's a tab up there. Don't look at my finger, try to look at my actual finger. That tab up there, and there's another one directly below it. Squeeze the 2 tabs together and then pull it out. And the indicator bulb is over. The indicator bulb is over there, and that's another twist. Okay, all the bulb housings are exposed. Now we just replace them with the LED equivalents. Now that we've replaced the indicators, the side marker, the brake light, reverse light, and the indicator at the back with LEDs, this is what happens when you don't do any other modification. Oh boy! Look how bright that is. Oh yeah, my other license plate bulb has burst, so I'll need to find the LED equivalent and replace it in the next video. But these brake lights are way brighter. But when we turn on the hazard or indicator, you get the Hyperflash going on. Now this happens because the filament bulb requires a lot more power / current to go through them because they are higher resistance, whereas the LEDs are very low requirements for electricity, power, resistance, all that sort of stuff. So when you turn the indicator on, it flashes really quick. But there is a fix, and it's really simple to do. If you got a soldering iron and a hobby store in your country / city or wherever you are, you can replace 1 resistor and it will fix the Hyperflash. Okay, so to get to this mysterious solution to fix the Hyperflash, you want to go into your driver's seat. Next to your clutch pedal, on the top, just above the clutch pedal, there is a gray relay that you need to take off, and I will attempt to film and spot it in the dark. Oh no, I lie! It's not near the clutch pedal, it's over here. Okay, so I was just kidding about being next to the clutch pedal. It's actually near the accelerator cable, so if we turn and face there, that is the accelerator cable, that's the brake. Oh wait, no. The closest pedal towards you is the clutch. And then the brakes there and accelerators all the way there. And just above, you can see... Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's up there. Looking up there, there's that gray one. That is over there. I'll point it with a little marker thing because I can't really point it with my finger, but it's right there. You want to unplug it and then remove that guy from the spaghetti of wires. So this is the relay flasher that you need to take out, and as always, my car likes to give me some love and give me a scar, and this is the guy that I got from doing the brake and rotors, so you know, it's just a love-hate relationship. Anyway, so this is the flasher that you want, this is the relay that you want to get out of the footwell of your driver side. And how you get this out is there's these 2 little teeth there at the bottom, and you need to pull up this way and then pull it down. And as pulling down, I cut my finger. So anyway, to get this open, I think you have to pry open these two tabs on the other sides to remove the innards. I was just being a weak ass mother trucker, and you just have to pull it really hard. Try not to bend these pins. But anyway, okay, so the thing that you want to replace is here. If you look, if I can get this in there, see R1? I should turn that around. R1 at the top, this guy over here, this resistor, you want to replace that resistor with a 1 mega ohm resistor. And what that does is, because the filament bulb uses a lot more, it has a lot of resistance in that piece of wire, because basically that's what a filament bulb is. It's a piece of wire that heats up because of the electrical current that goes through it, which creates light, and that's how you get your flasher or your lights or your stop lights. And because a LED, a light emitting diode, doesn't have a metal wire, so to speak, in here, it uses a lot less electrical current. So by adding a resistor into the LED, you simulate a filament bulb. So let's take R1 off this circuit board and replace it with the 1 mega ohm resistor. And just for completeness sake, let's measure the old resistor to see how much that is, in case we need to ever revert back to OEM spec. 5.64 kilo ohms. Yeah, just under 1 mega ohm. Okay, so we're gonna get the soldering iron out, put heat on those two solder joints, and pull the old R1 out. Hooray! Warm up the solder joint. Okay, that looks good. Because this 1 mega ohm resistor is a little bit bigger than the 5.4 kilo ohm, it's going to look a little bit messy, well, out of place, but that's alright. As long as we get the solder connections tight on the other side, it will be just fine. It's not very pretty, but you can see those two long legs. That's the end of the resistor, and that's the 1 mega ohm there sitting in R1. So what we're going to do now is just cut them off with some side cutters and reinstall back into its case there, making sure, actually we should check if I did that properly with the multimeter first before putting it back. But check it with the multimeter. If it's good, put the casing back on, then put the black piece back on, back into the car, and then see if it works. Made a little oopsie doopsie with the measuring the new resistor inside the relay. That won't work because when you put your positive and negative leads on the mega ohm resistor, the multimeter will take the easiest path through the relay, and that's not through the resistor. So it gave me like a 500 kilo ohm reading, so don't do that, kids. But I've installed the relay back inside, and I'll show you the result. It flashes like OEM, so I consider this mod successful. Now all you guys can run LED lights through your front and rear indicator. I believe you can change the side one as well. Once again, I know the US Miatas have like those ones in here and the ones in the back, but in New Zealand the JDM ones we don't have those, so I don't see the issue is, no, I don't think there's any issue if you were to replace these guys and those guys with LEDs. I'm sure they'll function just as well. Anyway, that concludes this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, because I cut myself, because I love myself, give it a dislike. If you're new, consider subscribing because there are many more things to come. Can I do any teasers? No, all my turbo stuff is inside the boot. Hint, hint.